for instance, when we get to the real game consoles, like say for instance the Supergrafx. This is very conveniently located just right next to me. Beautiful. This is my favorite way to play TurboGrafx stuff. It's an amazing, amazing console. Powerful, really freaking powerful. This system is somewhere, I want to say between the Genesis and the Super Nintendo. If you consider the Super Nintendo more technologically powerful, I don't know if I do. The Genesis has got the amazing speed. The processing power is so fast. Blast processing was a joke back in the 90s, or kind of is still now, but in reality, the Genesis had a much faster processor than the Super Nintendo. But the PC Engine actually had a very fast processor as well. This Supergrafx just amped it up to the next level. It was something that NEC kind of threw together last minute to try to compete with Sega and Nintendo because they were so worried that Super Nintendo was going to overpower it so quickly. NEC was very strange in Japan. Like they were releasing new hardware almost every year or less than every year, like every 6 months or so. And this was a whole complete standalone console. The coolest thing though, and it flopped. Not a lot of people bought it, so they canceled it immediately. There was only 4 games that ever released for it. But of those 4 games, one of them is the Ghouls and Ghosts game, which is nearly arcade perfect. It blows the Genesis one out of the water. So if you ever want to see what a real powerful TurboGrafx was with a slightly amped up 16-bit processor, this is it, because this is like a genuinely powerful version of the PC Engine. But the reason why I own it and I think it's an amazing system is, yes, it only had the 4. Such a shame that the Supergrafx didn't get more games that supported. I know, I agree, right? It is it's supposed to be an engine. That's what they wanted it to look like, was an engine. So that's why it kind of has such a goofy look. It's a very different looking console. I mean, seriously, it's like only Japan could produce something so strange. But the Supergrafx, anyway, it even looks like it has bolts on it, like you have to take it apart like that, but it doesn't. It's just a plastic shell. But the reason why I love this system, even if it only had 4 exclusive games for it, maybe 5 exclusive games, is that it's completely compatible with the PC Engine. And with a CD add-on on the back, you can play every single PC Engine game on it. And it's just, that's a big deal to me, is game systems that are backwards compatible with its prior console is amazing. So this will play all TurboGrafx games. It'll play all PC Engine Hue cards. It will play all Super CD games. It'll play CD-ROM 2 games. It'll play all arcade games, the arcade card games with the arcade card add-on on it. So, like, it will play everything. This can be used as a base PC Engine, and that's what's beautiful about it. So, if like, that's, and I think it looks really clever, too, with this paired up with the Avenue Pad 3. It's got a nice aesthetic with the gray console with, like, the blue writing. It looks perfect with the Av Pad 3, so... That's my favorite PC Engine controller, is the AvPad 3. I didn't expect to be talking so much about consoles, but since we've got a captive audience, one of the main reasons also that my very favorite Atari console of all time is the 7800, which I just happen to have next to this as well. Now, this system only had like 60 games that came out for it and was considered by most a flop. But the reason why I absolutely adore the 7800, which I think this is the 3rd 7800 we own now for like Lincon and Evercon. The reason why I adore this system so much is because it's, again, 100% backwards compatible with the Atari 2600. 2600 they can play all 2600 games on the 7800. So that adds close to like 1,000 games for it. Now, is 2,600 games really all that impressive? No, not really. I mean, there's a lot of shit games. I mean, it's 99% shovelware. But of those 1,000 games, if, 10% of them are fun, you got 100 games plus, and the 60 games that were for this. Atari initially released this. I think it eventually came out after the NES had released, but it was actually developed and produced before the NES was released. They were just holding off on it because of the video game crash of 84 or 83. But it was meant to compete with the Master System and the NES. It is slightly less powerful than both consoles. It has some advantages, but they really didn't. It wasn't a powerful enough console to really compete. It is nowhere near as good. It does have some really killer homebrew stuff that's come out today. That is true, McClar. Yeah, it's weirdly got good homebrew stuff that's been releasing for it. So like, if you are interested in some cool homebrew games, the 1700's got some neat ones. There's that one, I can't think of what it is. It's like two names. It's like Jeffrey and Glenda or something like that. But it's really good. But there are some exclusive games that came out for it that were really, really good, like Pole Position 2. This is the game that came free with it. And there's a handful of other really good Atari games that I enjoy a lot on it. So it's a good system, and that's the main reason why I love it. Backwards compatibility. I mean, the 5200, wait, 2600, 5200. Yeah, the 5200 that came out was completely lacking the backwards compatibility portion of it. So it was like, they just, I don't know. It was a flop beyond flopping. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that. But yeah, let me know in the chitter chatter. Let's get at her. What is this bag? Oh, look at my work bag. I'm like, what is that bag? But yeah, this is the new area. We'll definitely do more of a tour of it once I get more stuff set up. I don't have any, like almost zero game collection stuff down here. I have no board games. I've got no video games. I have consoles. I have setup stuff. I have PlayStation 5 and Switch games over there for the TV area, but I did not bring gaming stuff. That is all in storage units. So that's mildly depressing. I never wanted my gaming library to go back into storage again, but that is where it is at now. So we'll see if I ever get to a point now here where some of it might come down here. I kind of don't think so, but I guess we'll see. We'll see. There's always a possibility. It might get to a point where I'm like, I'm sick and tired of like all that stuff sitting in storage for so long. I want it out. I need it out, man. So who knows? Well, maybe we'll get to that point. But yeah, the whole reason we're here, though, Dead of Brain. What is in this box? Oh shit! I forgot about this. Oh, this is cool. Well, I do have some gaming stuff down here. Oh, neat. So this is my like PC Engine keepsake bin. I forgot this box was even in here. Got my PC Engine mug. So I can put that back here. I'll set it there, maybe. Yeah, there you go. You can see the PC Engine mug. I've got Adol Christian from the East games. Look at how perfect he looks. He's one of the coolest characters. One of my favorite RPGs ever. Action RPGs ever. I actually do have a handful of Turbo games in here. That's cool. I've got a PC Engine Works collector's coin. It's in there. I don't know if you can see it really well. Not a big fan of PC Engine Works or PCE Works, but they do have really good memorabilia. I got my Turbo EverDrive. I got Superstar Soldier and Utopia 2. And then, oh my god, my East pendant. I forgot about this. I had a guy named Canvas Quest, I think. It's right on there. Canvas Quest. They make these really gorgeous pendants. I have this one, and then I have an Airzonk one too somewhere. I don't know where that is exactly. But yeah, there's some good shit in here, man. It's good shit, man. Yeah, I forgot this box was in here. But McClar, you might be interested in this. If you got a Turbo, I got a buddy named Jody who makes look at this. I got a big ass bonk in there too. That's pretty cool. That's one thing that I'm actually looking forward to coming up is the I could do that. That's pretty cool. Is the PC Engine forums or the PC Engine fans forums Secret Santa that's coming up. I always have a good time with that. Sorry, I'm just kind of setting stuff aside now. So anyway, McClar, one of my buddies makes some really impressive. I got a Turbo. It comes every show now. The kids love it. They do love it. Well, if you're interested in attaining more higher end games, and I don't know if you have a Turbo EverDrive. If you do not have an EverDrive, get the EverDrive 2 or the EverDrive Pro or whatever it is, because that one has the ability to play CD-ROM games on an original Turbo-Grafx system. It's fucking amazing, but you can load up CD-ROM games on an SD card and play them off the Turbo without any add-ons anymore. You don't need any of the add-ons at all anymore. You just get the EverDrive Pro. I only have the original EverDrive, though. But my buddy Jody, he makes really cool looking cases for these, and these are basically converted phone cards, like Japanese phone cards, that you'd normally put a phone card in, because in Japan, for some reason, people collected phone cards. But I got the original Turbo EverDrive. Now I don't need an EverDrive Pro. That doesn't mean I'm never going to get one. I'm really actually very excited about getting an EverDrive Pro because of the idea that you can load up a bunch of CD-ROM games on it now. But I have the original EverDrive. It only plays Hue cards. I'm perfectly happy with that. I love the Hue card collections, and I love playing different Hue card games. So that's cool. And you probably know also that I'm a bit of a nut when it comes to collecting physical media of all games. So I do love the idea of an EverDrive, but I prefer to have actual games. However, some games, actual games, are so freaking expensive that it's, I wouldn't say impossible to attain them all. I keep planning to get one and then something else comes up. Oh yeah. I keep planning on getting a certain games, but it's just gotten to a point where it's like, do I want to spend $700 on a copy of a game? I can't get those cases anymore. I wish I could. Oh my God. Hey, what's going on, Chrome Squatch? Yeah. Well, shit, you can't get the cases anymore. Well, then I'm good. I've got some very good collector's items then, because here's some really kick-ass shit that you actually just did a post today. Did you wind up selling all those games that you had? Because there was that you were selling some games that were ready to go. I think you had Mega Man and a few other ones, but you had one that was a translated RPG. It was a horror game. I think the game is stylized around like the type of game is like Zelda 2, where it's a side-scrolling, like an RPG top view, but when you get into battles, it's side-scrolling. What's the name of that game? Why can't I think of it? Shit, I can't remember the name of it. But it looked really enticing. I really wanted to get that. But Jody's got some really fucking good quality stuff here, and this is one of my favorite. I've got two of these, and they're freaking great quality. It is a, yeah, those are all sold. War of the Dead. I'm making more tomorrow. Oh, okay. If you're cool with that, I think I'm gonna buy a War of the Dead from you, because that one does look really fun. I would be down for playing a Zelda 2 style game. Not that I'm the biggest fan of Zelda 2, but a game that's not meant to be a sequel to a classic side scroll or a classic top view RPG. Oh, I'd be down for that. Anyway, here, check this out. I've got Newtopia 1 and Newtopia 2 in a double pack. It's 2 games on one Hue card, and it's pretty good. You'd like it. I would love it, dude. And it actually is a dual Hue card, which is exclusive to Turbo Reproductions, a really great Facebook group if you're looking for some Turbo stuff. Turbo Reproductions does a lot of really kick-ass reproduction stuff, and this is a repro Hue card. So really good quality stuff. It's got a tiny little switch on, where is it? Oh yeah, right on the bottom there, where you can switch from Newtopia 2 to Newtopia 1. Now, I've played through and beaten both of these games. Weird thing about Turbo stuff is a lot of times, almost all the time, I don't know if there's ever a game that's really not done it this way, but the games don't save on the Hue cards, so it saves on the internal system memory, so you don't have to worry about saves on these. You don't have to worry about them battery backup or anything like that, because they just have the games on them. You have to save it to the internal memory of the system. Then another one like that I have. Oh, and then when he had these phone cases, he did the art and stuff too from the outside of it. So it's like, obviously you know what the CD Jewel cases look like, but these are like slightly smaller. But this one is the Superstar Soldier Blade collection. So it's got both Superstar Soldier and Soldier Blade. I don't know if you can see that very well. But yeah, same idea. It's 2 different. This is the Soldier games, Star Soldier and Soldier Blade. 2 different shoot 'em ups all on one freaking amazing looking Hue card. And this one's got a switch on the bottom as well, so you can have multiple games on one Hue card. And yeah, I've taken advantage of these. These are great to have for conventions. And this one also, he packed in a reproduction, miniature-sized reproduction instruction manuals, and they look like NES style manuals, but they're still in the style of the original Turbo games, just slightly scrunched down. Yeah, this is great. I love these so much. A lot of love and a lot of care goes into this work, and so And they're not meant to look like knockoffs of the originals either. That's the best part about it. So you're not going to go on eBay and sell them and say like, oh yeah, this is the real deal. It's like, and then you get a premium price for something that is meant to be less expensive and meant to be for people that aren't going out and spending, you know, $8,000 on new games. They just want to own games to have games around. So, and then one last hue card that I got from Jody was actually the Koryun. This one I wanted really bad. It's a crazy expensive game in Japan now, but I wanted it really bad because it plays. I love reproduction stuff. It's at the point now where you have the original stuff. Great, good for you. I'm proud of you. You better have gotten it back in the day, because if you want to get it nowadays, you are going to be spending crazy amounts of money. But if you wanted to get a reproduction of it and just enjoy the game because you want to enjoy the game, that's just as fine. Like, I don't know why people get so irritated or antsy about stuff like that. But repros are fun, and also like really interesting reproductions are really fun. Like Jody was working on a Keith Courage hack for a while called Kanye Courage or Yeezy Courage or whatever it was. Kanyeezy? I don't remember what it was, but it was Kanye starring in Keith Courage game. It was hilarious. I don't know if you knew this or not, but Kanye West grew up with a TurboGrafx 16. He actually had said in an interview once that his favorite game system ever was the TurboGrafx. He loved it so much that he wanted to name one of his albums TurboGrafx. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm not going to expect myself to like Kanye. Kanye Courage and Yeezy Zones? Yes. Yes, that's it. Oh, it's so funny. I love it. I love it. That's super funny. Yeah. Kanye Courage and Yeezy Zones. And then for a while you were working on a port of Phantasy Star, the original Phantasy Star on the Turbo, which I would still love to see at some point. I really hope at some point we can get that, because that would be fucking amazing. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that I can think of. And I just emptied a box and put stuff away. So that's cool. Things that I've been tinkering around with lately. In the world of gaming,